Okay, this is our new coach call. So what I'm going to be doing, just so you guys know, and you can put this in your schedule, the first Wednesday of each month will be a new coach call. Okay, and some of it is going to be the same information, and some of it will be new information. But that way you can know that not only for your own well-being. I'm a huge believer that basics in any area of life I don't believe can be strengthened enough, right? Your basics and your foundation, I think, can always be worked on. Just like when I took ballet, the first place they sent us, you go to the bar. You always start at the bar. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. But of course, we'll talk about other things. Also, some of you already have, and some of you will have new coaches that come on board. So it's nice that you can be able to hand them right from the get-go, hey, there's a new coach training call first Wednesday of every month, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you put it in your calendar, right? So what we're going to be talking about today is some of the things that are going to move your business the most within the first 30 days, or when you officially, go full force, whenever that is, which is ultimately up to you. So the very first thing that I think is mandatory, or you have no business, is you yourself have had to make a decision and a dedication and commitment to your own health and wellness. So it means that you have chosen a program to follow. And I recommend when you're a new coach to not kind of hop around or do hybrids or any of these things, right? To pick a solid program. I generally will always recommend that you start with 21 Day Fix. Not only whether or not you come into this business and you've been working out forever, or this is your first program. The reason is that 21 Day Fix is typically the best program, in my opinion, to start new members off with. Again, we'll talk about, here and there, these little exceptions to the rule if people have physical needs or whatever. But I think when we're starting out and we're doing our basic training, we need to stick with just what the usual is, right? When you, as a new coach, have these little weird situations that pop up, this is the beauty of having a team page, right? And a mentor that you can talk to. I really recommend, unless your question is something that is super private or personal, go to the team page first, whether it's your team page or one of your upline team pages. The reason is, number one, do we want to really message our coach with every little question that exists? No, right? Number two, if you have that question, more than likely other people in the team page might have that same question, or in the future will, right? And I also like to see right away, I want people to get plugged into this community. And I want you to see that even though we are independent Beachbody coaches, which means that we really work for ourselves, that one of my favorite things about the way that this business is structured is that even though we have our individualized businesses, we are all here to help each other. And I've never known a group of women in my life that have been so willing to help when it does not directly impact their business. People are so willing to share and to help. And the more you get right off the bat plugged into putting yourself into this community instead of waiting or sitting on the sidelines, you're going to reap a lot of benefits, not just in making smart business decisions, but in getting what you're signed up for. Part of what you receive by being a coach on this team is access to an amazing community of women. So make sure you're actually getting what you signed up for, okay? Okay, so you've picked a program, typically 21 Day Fix. Little things that can make a big difference, both now and in the future. Take good starting pictures. When I started 21 Day Fix as a client, I had zero plans or aspirations to become a coach. That was nowhere on my radar whatsoever. And because of that, I look at my first pictures that I took, and they're not very good. Let's just say, because I, first of all, didn't want to take them, which is typical for most people. And I didn't know that I would be using them for anything other than sending them to my coach begrudgingly, right? So if you're in the beginning of your business and you know that there's any chance that you are going to be coaching other human beings, take quality pictures. It doesn't mean you need to be wearing, you know, mostly nude clothes on a bearskin rug, right? You don't have to like do that. You can wear bike shorts and a sports bra. If you don't want to wear a two-piece, fine. But here's the thing. I've actually legitimately had people send me their before pictures in like big old baggy sweatsuits. If we can't see any of your body, including you for your own well-being, you can't see your progress, okay? Second of all, reason, if we're gonna ask people to turn in stats to us, I'm a big believer that I will never ask people to do something that I myself have not already done or am not willing to do. So a big part of being a great coach is leading by example in all areas. Do not interpret that as you have to be perfect. It does not mean that you have to have big results yet. It doesn't mean that you eat perfectly or you never mess up. And we'll get into the intricacies of that. But it means if I'm going to ask or expect people to want to join me with this type of attitude or behavior, let's make sure that I'm doing it first. So you've chosen a workout program that you're going to commit to. Commit means I am going to show up for this dang thing. Now you've taken your before pictures and stats. Now you need to think about how do I want to document and share my experience? And it doesn't matter if you have a start date planned yet for when you're going to run a challenge group, or maybe perhaps you're inviting people into your coach's challenge group for the first month as kind of a mentorship or internship. None of that matters. The easiest, most organic way that you're going to have people want to join you in this business is to document your journey. And we're going to talk today a little bit about how to do that, because there's a level of it that we want it to be very honest and we want it to be authentic, right? But we also want it to feel thought out, intentional, and professional. So to me, it means that I'm going to, first of all, even before you start, if you're at the beginning stage of this, I want you to think about, what do I want people to get from watching my journey and my experience? And there might be universal statements that we all say, right? Like, well, I want them to be inspired, or I want them to want to do something themselves. Whatever that is, I want you to then to go a level deeper and say, okay, so somebody unmute yourself and give me a typical reason. Why would I want to document my journey for other people? What am I looking to do?
I want to connect with the people that are watching me they're gonna be attracted to me because they see something in me that they can relate to.
Yeah.
That's my potential customer.
Yeah. Very good. So if I say to myself then, if I'm Deborah and I go, okay, I'm going to share my journey because I want somebody that we would probably be buddies, or we are buddies, right? They see something similar. I want to, and what is the purpose of the connection though, Deborah? So from that connection, what is the reason that you want them to connect with you?
So we kind of have like, we can talk about something. We have a conversation.
I want you to go more specific. What is the desired outcome of that quality connection?
A relationship.
For what purpose?
To help them.
Go even more detailed. What are we helping them with?
Their journey?
Yeah,
So there's a reason why I want you from the beginning stages of your business and all the way through to be very specific. When we are vague and we do not understand why we're doing something or what a desired outcome is, our actions match. They're also vague and they also feel confusing. And it's why people will lose momentum, because they have uncertainty in their purpose. We have to first know, what is my purpose? Now, I will tell you, out of the 4.5 years that I've been coaching, it's not like day one, I was like, this is my purpose. And then I've just been walking on that path ever since. And anytime you ask me, I've been like, no, my purpose today. No, there have been days and weeks and months where I've been like, what, who am I? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? I wish I was one of those people that drink wine every night, right? So what I will tell you though, in hindsight, is I wish, going back to the beginning, that I had stopped and thought about that before just posting and doing this and doing that. And I wish I had stopped and said, what is my purpose, right? So I believe, we're going to get a little woo-woo-y, but stay with me. But I believe that every single one of us at every stage of our life and everything that we enter into has a design to it, right? That we have something in us that's different per person that has a purpose. Everybody has a different skill set of how to connect with different people for a specific purpose, right? So, you know, Cindy and Christine, you guys are teachers, right? So you have a very specific purpose. You are there to impact these children's current life, not just teach them an educational course, right? It goes so much further beyond that, right? You have a very, and I think it takes a very special, specific type of person to go in and thrive as a teacher. So if I'm going to post, and I'm just posting because I'm like, well, I'm supposed to post this workout, I'm supposed to post that I'm eating this or whatever, versus, okay, I want to reach another mom out there who, like I was after having 2 babies, had put on 85 pounds total and felt like crap. I wasn't me anymore. I lost my confidence. I didn't like my body. I didn't like to shop for clothes. It, you know, damaged every part of my life. But yet I was supposed to be really happy that I was a mom. And I wasn't supposed to be worrying about this. Like, I want to find a woman, whether it's that exact situation or just a woman who through life's events has lost herself and kind of has lost the belief that she can do anything about it. I want her to watch me and be inspired. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Now, notice during this entire conversation, have I said a word about a sale? Have I said anything about I'm doing this so that they'll buy a challenge pack? No, that's just a tool. It's just one piece of the puzzle. Is here's what I'm going to tell you. If people connect with you, like Deborah said, your purpose and passion and what you're trying to create for another individual in their life is visceral. Like, they can feel that through your posts, through your stories, through whatever means that you're communicating with them. I guarantee you that there will never be a point where you're just like, oh, this feels like a forced sale. Like, it literally will be you taking an order. Do you think when somebody pulls up to, I don't know, Starbucks, that the guy on the other end, has he ever like tried to sell you a bunch of stuff on the menu? With unsolicited? Does he come on and he's like, let me tell you, girl, this is what you need? I don't know, it has never happened to me. You come up there, you look at that menu, you know why you're there, because you tired, you hungry, whatever it is, and you know what you want. You tell him what you want and he goes and makes it. Maybe they make suggestions sometimes, right? So the challenge pack is just taking an order. But Starbucks already did their job, didn't they? You pulled up in that, well, I go through the drive-thrus because I'm too lazy to get out of my car. Well, especially when you're a mom and you have kids in car seats and all that, you don't want to, yeah, you'll get there. Anyway, off topic. So, all right, we have a program that's picked out. I'm going to take great starting pictures, and then I'm going to make a plan of how am I going to document this for the purpose of not, and here's the cool thing, because this is what most new coaches do. Oh, I don't want to share those pics. I don't want to share this video, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that, because what are people going to, maybe you don't say it in that voice, right? But what are people going to think? And I don't know, and just stupid, because all of those thoughts come from a place of me. And I'm not saying that we do it on purpose. I don't think we're sitting there feeling insecure and unsure going, it's all about me. But essentially, that's not in alignment with the purpose that I listed prior, right? My purpose I listed was what? I want to reach another woman that felt how I felt and get to her sooner. I mean, thank God that I finally found what I found, but let me tell you, I went the long way around, okay? Like, somebody could have come and found me and like Dora the Explorer and brought me a map or something and that monkey or whatever and hooked a sister up. I would have preferred to get there a little bit faster. So What about the woman that doesn't know this exists? What about the woman that doesn't think she can do it? That's why I'm doing this. So I don't mind sharing my journey because I'm good. I'm good with me. I don't care if people, here's the reality too, not to get off track, but just a little honest moment. Most of the people that are going to look at your stuff are either going to be the people that are interested and are the people that need you, or most of them are just not going to even think about it. They're not, like, we think that there's people sitting on the other side and they're like scrutinizing and they're not. Most people are going to be indifferent. The percentage of like full-on haters that you have are probably people that also want to join, just saying, okay? So you've got, and I don't even care about the indifferent or the haters, because you know what? Those people are not who I'm doing this for, and they do not matter in my life. Their opinion does not matter to me. My purpose is to help people. And if you don't like it, get out of the way, okay? All right, so we picked the program. We've taken excellent pictures. Now we've decided how we're gonna document. So the first thing that you need to do too, sooner than later, because anything that you put off will get harder just because you've put it off. If you have not chosen a date to start a group, you need to do that ASAP. Because after a month goes by, and then another month, and then another month, and then another month, I'm telling you, it will get harder and harder to pull the trigger, okay? You do not have to run a giant group. You can have you and 3 of your friends that need you. And that is a group. We think sometimes we have to start off on this massive level. You can also, if you've come on and you're a new coach recently, and maybe you notice that there's another new coach, you partner up with them and you become buddies and you say, let's do this together. A lot of times new coaches will also choose to do their very first group as far as bringing customers in with their current coach. So for example, somebody becomes a new coach on my team. They have customers that they want to work with, but they're not quite set up to run a group all by their lonesome. They bring them in. But here is my warning that I wish I had done from day one. If you're going to do that and you have the intentions of running this as a business, whether it's supplementary, part-time, or full-time, you need to step up in that group and get with your coach that's leading the group and say, how can I be a present coach? You need your customers to see you as a coach, not as just another person that's in the group with them. And your coach may give you specific assignments, but this is where owning a business and having an entrepreneurial mindset comes in, where I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to step up and say, what can I do so that my customers in this group see me as a coach just as much as they see you? Okay. So those are really the beginning things. Other little things that you want to think about that are important, not little, I guess, personal development, okay? So our 4 vital behaviors, which is what we're going to talk about at the end of this call now, are what we refer to as your daily activities that should be done on a consistent basis. Now, here's the craziest, most bomb thing about these 4 vital behaviors. Being a great coach comes from working on yourself. When you are killing it in your physical journey, your nutrition, your mindset, you're growing, you're being challenged. I didn't say you happy all the time. We'll get to that, right? But when you're working on bettering yourself, your business will always be a direct reflection of that. And I want you to take that in for a second. Like, think about it. How many jobs out there, part of how they become successful is you being your best self? How many jobs do we know where, dedicating the time and energy and resources to make them grow also many times requires sacrificing things like our health, whether it's sleep or not having time to exercise or not having time to feed ourselves correctly, right? I don't know about you, but that's a lot of jobs that do that. And so a lot of people, there's a saying that they spend first percentage of their life accumulating wealth at the sacrifice of their health, and they spend the other part of their life using that wealth to try to make up for the health. And our job the two are hand in hand. So these 4 vital behaviors, all right? Number 1, we need to be product of the product. Pretty simple, right? If, you know, the biggest thing I always hear when people are concerned about coaching and inviting and putting themselves out there is, well, I don't want to be that icky salesperson. I don't want to be that icky MLM person. I don't want you to either. That is not what Team Inspiration Nation is. That is not what we're trying to do, okay? So one of the key cornerstones of that, that's non-negotiable, is if we want to be legit, I'm not, again, asking anyone to do anything that I'm not currently doing. So that means that I'm committed to a program and I'm showing up on every day. I'm drinking Shakeology. I am not perfect, but working on my nutrition to the best of my ability, and I'm showing it. So that's product of the product, right? Proof that I'm not just selling you something, this is how I live. And the cool thing is when you do that, you have a lot to talk about and a lot to show. It's an authentic joy. It's an authentic wellness that people can see that radiates from you, and they want some of what you got, right? All right, vital behavior number 2, okay? Connect, invite, and share. I don't even know if I'm doing these in the right order. Does it matter? No. So invite, connect, share. That means that's a variety of things, and you will dive deeper into these as you go further in your business. But every day you're making an intentional amount of actions of inviting, connecting, and sharing, which means I'm posting on my social media. It can also mean just reaching out to people. Hey, how are you? How are you doing? Sometimes it will mean inviting to, if you have a free group, maybe you have a new challenge group coming up. Maybe you're just going to do a virtual workout with everybody and you're inviting them to that. There's lots of ways that you can invite, connect, and share. And you will get into the details of that as we move. Number 3 is personal development. Personal development is just as it sounds, it's personal. You're going to need different things at different stages of your journey, both as a human being, in your health and wellness, and then in your business. My recommendation is no less than 20 minutes a day, which should be super easy. And pick something that's going to help you from where you are. If you're looking for business things that are also not just business, but just helps in general, things like the compound effect, the slight edge, start with why, the 5-second rule is a great one. You know, there's really good ones. And then there's things that are more mindset. If you've got a big hang up on dealing with rejection, because I will tell you right away, that is part of this business. People will tell you no. They'll tell you no a lot. Summer told me no a lot. Look at her. She's like, and what's so funny, and not to call her out, but this is pretty typical, that I'll have a new coach and they'll say to me, well, you know, I've been inviting, but all these people have said no to me, and they're all like agitated, which I get. We don't like to hear no. Like nobody like starts out there like, I hope a bunch of people tell me no today. Woo! But they're, you know, they'll be kind of frustrated in the beginning stage of their business, and I usually will look at them and be like, most of them, I'm like, how many times did you tell me no? Right? So it doesn't bother me. I'm not personally offended. I just keep showing up and I keep inviting. Okay. But if, for example, rejection is an issue, Rejection Proof is an amazing book, and it's an easy listen. So I do a lot of mine on Audible through Amazon. I actually remember listening to that book in the car with my kids when I would be driving around town, and they got a lot out of that book as well. It was great. Okay. But personal development, some days you need to take your temperature, meaning what am I struggling with today? And that means that sometimes I will deviate from one book or podcast if what I need on that day is something different. And by the way, too, if you start reading or listening to a book and it is not connecting with you at that moment in time, I give you full permission to move on to a different book. And I've had books where it was like that, and then I came back to it at a later time in my life, and I was like, oh my God, like, how did I not know that this book was like everything I ever needed, right? So it just depends on what time, but don't feel like you have to like white knuckle it. If you want to know more about nutrition, there's great books that you can do. This one is a great starter one, Escape the Diet Trap, amazing. But that will be something that will change throughout your career, okay? And the last vital behavior is recognition. So think about like this. So cool. Recognition can mean anything. When you have customers, clients, and coaches, it could mean recognizing them. In the beginning, it could be recognizing a friend, a family member, a loved one. Sometimes that's in a public post. Sometimes it's in a private message. Sometimes it's in a handwritten card. But part of our daily requirement that will help move your business forward is to give recognition to another person. That is part of our job. So in essence, if you look at those 4 vital behaviors, the first one is to take really good care of yourself. Thanks, Beachbody. You're nice. The second one is to connect with other people that need access to what we have to offer, which is an incredible community, amazing products and resources, and something that will free them from whatever their problems may be. The third part is personal development. Again, we're working on ourselves. And the last one is to give somebody recognition, love, admiration, shout out, whatever it is. So I really want you to think about those 4 things and how they all really boil down to bettering ourselves and inviting others to better themselves along with us. That's what the core is of what we do. And I can tell you that while absolutely my family has benefited financially from this business, even though that was never my intention, the biggest parts of this that I can't put a dollar on is because those vital behaviors have existed in my life and these communities and programs have been a steady part of my life for over 4 years. My children have benefited. My husband has benefited. My friends have benefited. The way I teach my Zumba class is different. This is the type of job, if you really do go into it with the right intentions and know that it's not going to happen overnight, your whole life will be improved. And then, yep, you got some financial benefits on top of that. To me, that's icing on the cake, right? I know people get weird when you talk about money, but here's the reality of it. We all need money to exist in the world, okay? And if I'm going to need money, I want to make money by doing something that I feel like makes me a better person and helps me be of service to people in this world that I come into contact with. And money at the end of the day buys freedom. Peace of mind, freedom of choice, freedom to design the type of life that you want. For me, it's a lot of, I want to send my kids to whatever school they want to go to. If something breaks in our house or on our car, I don't want that to create an immediate huge stress. And I need to work out and feed myself and take care of my mental health anyway. So I might as well do it and share it with other human beings so they can be better and I can pay my bills at the same time and beyond, okay? So any questions, comments, accusations, insults? This is your opportunity and you guys are totally missing it. Okay, Cindy, I'm gonna call on you. You've been coaching. Well, you're one of my, you're really my top coach right now, and you've been coaching the longest. So I'm gonna ask you on the spot here. I know you can deliver. Can you give a couple of your own suggestions that if I had known, so we'll call them, if I had known what I know now, I would have done this. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Let's see. Well, this is not a if I had known, but I think the biggest thing that really helped me get out of my comfort zone, because I was one of those, I almost quit. For those of you that don't know my story, I almost quit before I even started because I was just so terrified of, I don't know,
So tell them
of the unknown.
Tell them you wanted to. She wanted to come and tell me, and then what happened?
I had planned to go up to her after class one day and tell her that I was going to quit, but I chickened out. I never actually went to the class. I mean, I did, but I didn't go to tell her that. I was too scared to tell her. But for me, I think the biggest thing that helped was personal development. And you're going to hear that a ton on almost every training and on every national wake-up call, personal development. For sure, for me, the one that really helped me get out of my little bubble comfort zone was you are a Badass, I think, by Jen Sincero. And I don't know if I had known, is that what you called it? If I had known,
Whatever tips
whatever.
you want to give.
Um, there are a ton of resources for everything that you need. So like if you don't know how to do something, there's resources out there, but don't get stuck in studying and studying and studying and never taking action. Because I think for me that held me back a lot. I didn't know how to send the perfect invite. So I did my research on invites and never did them because I kept researching for that one thing that was gonna like change everything. So there's help out there. If you don't know how to do something, there's a lot of resources, but don't get stuck in just in the study of it.
We call it, analysis paralysis.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what I think? I think the truth is that you didn't chicken out. I think the truth is that you didn't want to quit.
Yeah. No, I did. I wanted to be a part of it. And I wanted to do what you and the other coaches that I was watching doing, but I was just, I don't know. I was a different person back then. I feel like I've grown a lot.
And that's what I was going to say, that those are the gifts that are hidden in this business that I can't really put down on a job description or in how you get paid, but they are to me the most important ones. You know, I can say, since Cindy's been a part of this team, and Christine, you've known Cindy too, so you can probably back this up. Her confidence is very different. You know, how she speaks, how she carries herself, how she leads others, how she leads herself. And what that's equal to is not just, of course, making sure that she's living the best life that she wants to live and not being held back from her own fears or insecurities, which would be very sad, but it means that she's now influencing other women to do the same thing. And that's the power that we hold. But when we allow our own fears and doubts and what I don't know and what I don't have yet and who I'm not hold us back, it's first of all sad because it impacts our own life. But the saddest part to me is the people that you wouldn't have an opportunity to serve. You know, and when for the new coaches watching this recording too, like, let me tell you, what will happen is there'll be a day where you're going to get your first card, your first note, your first message of what you've done for somebody's life. And they're going to reveal things to you that you didn't know. They're going to tell you ways that you've impacted and influenced and helped them that you had no clue of that were going on. And it's going to punch you right in the gut. And it's going to all at once be the most rewarding thing on the face of the earth, and also the most intense in a weird way, because you also realize simultaneously the responsibility to keep moving forward. And I will tell you this as we end the call, you do not have to be a perfect anything to be an incredible coach. You have to be committed. You have to be dedicated. You have to be willing to work on yourself, to have a fear and do the thing anyway, and just be willing to grow in this business. But it does hold an immense amount of opportunity personally, and then who you're going to impact. So I'm going to post this recording in the team page, and then we're going to meet every Wednesday, first Wednesday of each month, to go over different basics. There's a lot of them, so I'll try to cover them as much as possible. Also, just a reminder, you guys, tomorrow night, we have Symphony McAllister, who is going to be leading a team call. She is incredible. You just kind of have to show up to see, but she has such a light and an energy about her, and yet is so authentic and genuine, and has built an incredible business. And she's going to be talking about how to essentially not let fear get in the way of what you're creating, because I know it's this word that we throw around, but I do think that's the number one thing that is the block between not just enrolling people and being successful, but it's the block between here's where I am and here's where I want to be. right? So she's going to be talking about that subject, but I appreciate you guys making the time to be here. Does anybody have any other questions before I close out? Was it clear? You know what you need to do? You know what you need to do? Then do it, all right? I don't know why I said it in that voice, but it felt good, so. All right, guys, good night. Thank you.